No one will ever, hold that over me. Friends, Bryan here, your friendly neighborhood 51-year-old who avoids people, but yes, I have a YouTube channel. I am 51 years old, and I chose to not have kids. Here's why. Maybe you guys can relate. It'll be interesting to see what everyone says in the comments. I had an amazing father. I had a great dad. I don't remember him ever taking sick days at work. I remember him providing for the family. He was strict, but he was fair, and he was supportive. And I remember he was always at all my sporting events, cheering me on. And losing him in 2015 was the most tragic thing in my life that I was not equipped to handle. And I haven't gotten over, and I don't think I ever will. And I know many of you out there can relate with me on that. When someone you love very deeply suddenly passes away, I don't think you ever really get over it. I think you just start to learn to move on and carry on. But because I had a very good example of a father in my life, I always thought I would make a very good father. Well, when I was young, I wasn't really thinking about having kids. You're like, oh, I'm 19, 20, 25. Kids is something you do when you're in your 30s. But then something happened in my life. I have a sister who got married. And the fellow she married clearly has something wrong with him. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. My guess would be maybe schizophrenia or something. He's too stupid to have narcissistic personality disorder, although he has a lot of those traits. But when we first met him and he started coming around, he was like super nice. He knew how to play the game, but sure enough, like in a lot of relationships, when my sister committed to the relationship, his true colors came out. He was a very mean guy, a very conniving, manipulative person, very miserable. Anyway, then followed abuse, physical abuse, and it got to a point where she needed help out of the relationship, and we as a family collectively tried to help her. When I saw what she had to go through, she had 3 kids. When you have that tie with someone of having a child together, the power that they try and hold over you, the manipulation, the control, it was just brutal. The BS you have to put up with. And I was there, for exchanging the kids on visits, having to tolerate all the BS, all the, and then legally, when all the assets were settled, he would just spend all his money on legal fees to try and hurt my sister. And I remember just seeing all of that BS and the drama and the never-ending crap and going, man, no one will ever hold that over me. That made such a big impact on me. And I always made that choice. I'm not going to have kids. Maybe some of you have. So, especially if I was ever in a relationship where I had that feeling in my stomach going, I think you'd have to have a lot of trust to have a child with somebody. It must be very difficult for people. I've seen examples of really bad dads who really didn't care about their kids. God, you're lucky enough to have healthy kids, and you don't even think you should have to pay child support or put any effort into it or spend any time with them. It's someone else's problem. You're the mother. It's your problem. Oh, kid's got the flu. I'm not looking after him this weekend. It's your problem. I've also seen really, really bad mothers who should not be anywhere around their kids, who are very cruel, mean, and mentally abusive and physically abusive. Whether it was friends, acquaintances, or people passing through my life, I would see a lot of misery from people who they love their kids, but they're like, man, the BS of dealing with the baby father or the baby mama, forgive me for those terms, maybe it's offensive to some people. It's tough, man. It can impact the rest of your life because you'll always have that tie. Now, they say that having a child is 1/3 the life experience, and I believe it. I'm sure it's a great thing. And being in my 50s, I'm always kind of like, man, passing on my name, I would have been such a good dad. It's a shame when I see so many really, really awful fathers out there, and I'm like, man, you're lucky enough to have nice, healthy children, and you don't even care. It makes the men like me go, man, maybe I should have had a kid because I would have been a really good father who cared. But it is what it is. I'm 51. If I had a child now, I'd be in my 70s when they were a teenager. So, hey, I'm trying to keep myself healthy, but come on, guys, come on. So, for me, I never want anyone to have that kind of tie to me or control over me for the rest of my life. And I've met a lot of people who their ex with a child involved has made them very miserable. And also, I would think, what kind of world am I bringing the kid into now? The world's not going to a good place, folks. Sorry. So those are my reasons for not having a child. Can some of you relate to that? Have some of you made the same choice I have? Comment below. Like, subscribe as always. Comments, good, bad, whatever. I like them all. So it's all good. I appreciate it very much, guys. What do you think? This is Bryan signing off.